Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod. We're here at the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, and our special guest right now is Dr. Jonathan Tarbox. And you have an exciting new group that you're working with, the Autism Research Group. Tell us about what they do and what your goals are right now and how we can be involved as parents.
Well, Autism Research Group is an independent nonprofit research institute that we launched in April, and it is basically our purpose is to do research that matters to families of children on the spectrum. So we're doing research in a variety of areas, but we're focusing mostly on treatment and real-life treatment research that produces real outcomes.
Love it.
There's a lot of research out there. Probably 90% of autism research is really important stuff, but it doesn't really produce a real change for the families who are involved in it right then.
Yeah.
And so we hear complaints about that constantly from the parent community saying, well, okay, this is great, and maybe what you're doing, most of the research is being funded. Maybe 10 years, 20 years down the line, there'll be implications for how it might be able to help a family. But how about my kid, like today, who can't brush his teeth, or who is having a tough time getting a job, or we can't go to the restaurant and have dinner in peace as a family,
Right.
So we're focusing on research that addresses real life issues like that.
Okay, well, I think that's amazing. And so parents can write in and tell you what they would like for you to research, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a big part of our research we're calling our parent-generated research initiative, and what it is a whole line of studies that we're developing right now that are based on parent preference. And so the usual sort of scientific approach is someone who's an expert in a subject matter, like I'm an expert in autism, I suppose, is supposed to come up with a great idea that will contribute to the scientific literature. You do research on that, and then you publish your results. And hopefully that helps somebody at some point. Well, we're sort of flipping that whole process on its head, and we're going straight to the parent community first and saying, okay, well, what do you care about? What do you want? Like, what do you want to get out of autism research? And so we have a survey right now on our website. If folks go to www.autismresearchgroup.org, there's a link that says Make Your Voice Heard, and folks should click on that. If they have a family member on the spectrum, click on that and take our survey. It won't take more than 10 minutes at the most. It's 10 questions that basically ask family members to rank in order of importance different topics in autism research, and then has a bunch of open-ended questions that literally just say, we're going to do research on autism, what do you want us to do? And we want folks to write us a novel. I mean, literally, give us as much information as folks, have or want. And then we're designing studies on the basis of those answers. And so actually one of the first studies that we're designing is specifically parent training. So we got a big response saying we want more training. And so now we have another survey, which is a separate survey that's specifically for parent training. And we're writing a grant proposal right now to get funding to pay for parent training and to evaluate its effectiveness. And so what we want to know, I mean, we have lots of great ideas for what we should train parents on, but we want to ask parents, well, what do you want help with, because, clinicians have lots of great ideas, and we sort of know what we want to work on, but there's got to be things that are falling through the cracks. There's got to be issues that just aren't being addressed enough, and so we want to hear directly from parents, what do you want training in? So there's another survey on our website that says Parent Training Survey, and so we want folks to click on that and literally tell us, what would you like training on? Whatever, teaching my kid how to get dressed in the morning, or dealing with homework, or dealing with, getting a haircut, the dentist, whatever it is. Folks should just write down what they need help in.
Okay.
Now, I do want to make one thing clear.
Yes.
There's a movement right now in California with some funding agencies that don't have enough money to pay for the treatment that they are mandated to pay for, and so they are suggesting that parents can treat their kids instead of having professionals do it. Okay, and so it's called various things. It's one of the main things that it's called is the parent training model, and so they're suggesting that basically with maybe 6 months or so of training from an ABA professional, you as a mom should be able to just take over your kid's treatment now. This is ridiculous. There's absolutely no research to support this model. It's not justified by the scientific literature at all. It's a money-saving scheme, is essentially what it's about. So I don't want your listeners to get that confused with what we're talking about with parent training. What we're talking about with parent training is not a substitute for professional ABA treatment. It's a supplement. It's a complement to professionally delivered treatment. So your kid, especially if you have a kid under the age of 7 or so, should be getting intensive, one-to-one professionally delivered ABA. In addition to that, you should be getting training in terms of how to optimally help your kid maximize the skills that he's getting. So that's what we're talking about. So we're doing a separate study, a separate grant to pay for that, so parents won't have to pay for it. What topics do you want training on?
Okay, good to know. Thank you for the clarification. And as always, thank you so much for coming in and giving us your time. It's so fun to hear these things and have my mind twisted in a different way than I normally think of, right? But it's great and it's very useful, and our watchers, our viewers tell us all the time that they really love when you're here on the show. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.